investing to neutralize our traditional advantages. So let's go to the next slide. So even though they are, well, let's talk first about how we got here. This is a timeline of events in China and the US since the Cold War began, but I'm just going to focus on the three that are highlighted in color here. I think three events about 30 years ago shaped the direction that we see today. First, Tiananmen Square. This was the division that really set China on a course for very restrictive societal control and the end of liberalization. And they obviously have rewritten the history books here to expunge Tiananmen Square from their own history as their own people see it, because they're so afraid of the people gaining power and changing the regime. About 2 years after that, the first Gulf War happened, and they watched the US beat the Iraqi army, the sixth largest army, in 6 days with very few casualties. And that was a phenomenal display of technology. So laser-guided munitions, satellite-based control, night vision. The US had an awesome display of technology that allowed for that to occur. And the Chinese were paying attention and said that was not going to happen in any future they foresaw, meaning technology was going to be very key to their future. 10 months later, the Soviet Union falls. The largest communist power, China also was watching and said the reforms that led to glasnost, the economic downfall that the Soviet Union caused because they did not focus on their economy, also were key lessons that the Communist Party learned. So I think this really set the direction for the need for technology and a very restrictive society, the use of technology to control society. Okay, next slide. So even though we see this situation, I would argue that we are not in a new Cold War. This is so different from what we faced with the Soviet Union. In fact, probably will be better if we compete where we have to, and a lot of things the US needs to do to get ready for that competition we'll highlight in a moment, but cooperate wherever we can. Key differences from the Cold War: China's economic scale. The Soviet Union at its peak was probably 40 to 60% of the US GDP. So they never even got close to overtaking us. By some measures, and we'll look at in a minute, China's already a larger economy. Then the degree of integration. China's made it their business to be integrated. The Belt and Road Initiative is a key example of this. They want to be a world's trading partner with many countries. And in fact, they're the leading partner with over 100 countries. They very much want to utilize global institutions, not to be a responsible citizen, which we had hoped for in the 2000s, that's Robert Zoellick's quote, but really to shape these institutions and make the world safe for their own authoritarianism. And then, as I mentioned, their pursuit of civil-military fusion. They very much see the importance of having a successful economy